years of law enforcement experience go to work for you. Boyd Investigative Group is here for all your business security needs. I know. I use them. They're terrific. Call today for your free confidential consultation. 941-724-4535. That's 941-724-4535. Or visit them on the website, BoydInvestigativegroup.com.
License number A1900020.
You can be a successful investor in the stock market by knowing what the market is going to do.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. God, you go nuts listening to these shows on TV, Kramer, any of them. I mean, they're giving you total garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. One day they tell you, buy this stock. Next day, don't buy this stock. Then you have two people on the show. One guy saying buy it, the other guy says don't buy it. So the question is, what the hell do you do? Well, we don't have questions here at Phil's Gang. And they never have to ask the question, what do you think the market's going to do? My members always know what the market's going to do because they've learned how to follow the money. That's right, follow the money. You don't follow fundamentals. You follow the money. And what is that? That's volume. That's the buyers and the sellers. And the other thing, you got to learn how to sell a stock as well as buy a stock.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Go to my podcast, YouTube, and Rumble every day. That's philsgang.com.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grandy.
No matter what room he is in, when the cameras are on or when they are off, President Biden is always fighting for America's small business owners and entrepreneurs.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
That's right. That is wrong. Welcome to Phil's Gang. The question came up to our vice president because over the years, what takes you out of a recession are jobs. And where do most of our jobs come from? From new startup businesses and existing small businesses. Those jobs, productivity, that is the prescription to fixing an economy like the one we're in. I was stunned when I heard that because President Obama and Vice President Biden, when they took over from Baby Bush, the economy was terrible. Terrible. And Obama knew, let me tell you, Obama was no dummy. He knew that the answer to getting out of the ditch, getting out of that recession, was to support new startup businesses, to stay behind them, and the existing small businesses, give them loans, cut regulations. And he would have gotten out of that recession quite quickly. But he didn't. He didn't do that. And Biden's not doing it now either, even though Biden knows the same thing. You need those small businesses to get you out of a recession. So why didn't Obama do it? Because, remember, they would upset the socialist Democratic base who put them into the White House. It's worse now, of course. The socialist Democrats are much worse, many more of them in the White House now than under Obama. But at the same time, remember, Obama got into the White House because of the socialist Democrats. But back then, nobody's going to put a pin on, I'm a socialist Democrat. Now, are you kidding? It's like a badge of honor. I mean, they're probably flying flags on the wall in the White House with sickles and hammers, you know. So he knew that. But he also knew that small businesses, they've been the lifeblood of capitalism, been the lifeblood of freedom-loving Americans ever since the beginning of the United States, ever since we became a country. The dream, it's always been the dream to start a business. People come from all around the world to start businesses. The people that are coming over the border, I bet many of them, their dream is to start a business. They don't want to be cutting a lawn for somebody. They want to have a lawn company. That's a good thing. So small business owners have become the number one target of the Socialist Democratic Party, and it's gotten even worse. And if you look at the restrictions that were put on small businesses, I forgot what the number was, but it was outrageous. It's costing small businesses something like $85 billion a year. So the idea is Obama knew exactly what he had to do to get out of the recession, but he knew he'd be giving up his Democrat Socialist Party and that he would never get reelected. And the same thing is going on today, where he is trying to please the leader of this movement, the socialist movement, AOC and Bernie Sanders. And the socialist coalition, which is led by AOC and now Joe Biden, of course, they control most of the large blue cities. And to make my point, how small businesses are the number one target of the Socialist Democrats, you go to those big blue cities, what are they doing? Busting windows, right? You see it on the news every night, setting small businesses on fire. So we have right here the tool to fix this. Obama had the tool to get us out of the ditch. Biden had the tool to get us out of the ditch. But it's always about party. It's always about power. It's always about politics first, not America first. It's always politics. So when I heard her say this, I just couldn't believe what I was hearing.
No matter what room he is in, when the cameras are on or when they are off, President Biden is always fighting for America's small business owners and entrepreneurs.
Lie, lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie.
She couldn't even spell the word entrepreneur. I'll bet it. I'll put a dollar on it. She can't even spell the word. So that's where we stand. I mean, that's a huge mistake, but there's a lot of mistakes that are being made. We should not be in this position that we're in our country. There's a lot of mistakes. Today, we saw another mistake. We saw another mistake today. They came out today and they said, oh, look at this. And they were celebrating. Wow, look at this. Inflation is down. It dropped from 5% to 4.9%. So retail, you take a basket of retail stuff people buy almost every day, year over year, it's down from 5% to 4.9%. Now you think, what the hell are they celebrating? 4.9%. Hey, let's get the kids in the station wagon. Let's go shopping, man. Hey, we now can afford it. Inflation's down from 5% to 4.9%. What are you, nuts? But they're celebrating it. And the market opened at 167 points. I said, what are they, nuts? And here's what I said to my students the minute that the market opened. So let's see what happens to this market if it's going to turn negative. Okay, my guess, if it don't turn negative today, it should turn negative tomorrow when the smart money starts thinking about what's going on here. And within 5 minutes, the Dow turned negative. And now the market's been going back and forth from negative to positive, because it's a big fight over yields. They're trying to keep yields down right now to push up the tech stocks. And then the next minute, they're pushing the yields up to try to push up the bank stocks, which have always been the leader. But all glory is fleeting. And boy, did we see that this morning. The market turned right around, went negative. So the Federal Reserve, think about the mistake they've been making. I mean, these are educated people, Harvard, Princeton, Oxford. But they're dumb when it comes to, or they're geniuses and they got another motive. But think about it. They're not going to do what's right to get us out of this ditch, support small and startup and small existing businesses. The other mistake they're making is they're putting the inflation, I told you yesterday, they're putting inflation, the cause of inflation, on wages. And they're trying to do everything they can to cut wages. They're doing everything they can to keep raising interest rates so that your boss, when he keeps getting interest rates where he was paying once 0 plus 2%, now he's paying 0 plus 9%, he's going to have to lay you off. And that's what he wants, because he's saying, Powell's saying, if we can get people, if we can keep raising wages, and they're going to keep, rates, and they're going to raise rates, believe me, to about, I'd say, 8%. They think if you get fired, they're going to beat inflation. That is insane. More when I get back. Join my gang, philsgang.com. Listen to me on YouTube, Rumble, Apple, Facebook, and Instagram.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed, because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere, because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG. Try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up, or why there's continued inflation, or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grandy.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially in the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG.
Warning: Google, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Facebook, all these hot stocks are going to crash. They're going to drop as much as 60, 70%. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Exactly what happened in the dot-com days is going to repeat itself. Remember, 85% of people lose money in the stock market because they don't know when to get out. I fixed that with my color code technology chart. Tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. That's right. Make sure you check it out. It's free for 10 days. philsgang.com.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Since I took office with your help, families are carrying less debt nationwide. They have more savings nationwide. More Americans applied for new small businesses last year than ever before in American history.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
That's right. That's wrong. It's not true. In fact, listen to this.
We are seeing reduced savings rates, increasing use of credit cards, less confidence in their ability to save for the future.
But here's what the truth is. You just don't come out and say, hey, guess what? Savings are up. And that's what he does. We have record low savings. Now remember what happened. We have record low savings and we have record high credit card debt. Their credit cards are maxed out. And low savings. In fact, your savings got so low, we now have record 401k withdrawals and record saving withdrawals. Now remember, during the pandemic, savings went from 7% up to 38% because of all the programs. People had more money, they knew what to do with. The American Rescue Plan, you know them all, I don't have to go through them. People had more money and now they blew through their savings. Now savings is at a record low of 2.3% from 38%. So we went from 7 to 38 to 2.3%. So we have savings are terrible. Terrible. But let's get back to the mistake, what happened here today. When they came out today and they said, oh, look at this is great, man, inflation's falling. Remember what came out today, they're just measuring, okay, retail prices. And so retail prices dropped by 1/10. I mean, you're not going to load up your kids in a station wagon and go down and start buying stuff, are you? I don't think so. I don't think that's going to change anybody's life. But the big mistake that the Federal Reserve is making, other than they refuse to back small businesses because it goes against, as I told you, it would just kill Biden's base, just like Obama knew it was going to kill his base. But the Federal Reserve has been trying to slow down this economy through the labor market, through wages. That's insane. To fight inflation, kill wages to fight inflation. In other words, keep raising interest rates so employers, when they have lines of credit for inventory, let's say they got a $500,000 line of credit for inventory, and they're paying 0 plus prime of 2, and now they're paying prime of 5.25 plus 3. And guess what? They're all wrong. Rates are going to continue to go higher. This was silly today. 5%. Now we're down to 4.9. Let's celebrate. No. What the problem is our government spending. We got to stop government spending. That's the problem. That's where inflation's coming from. And as I told you yesterday, corporate profits is where inflation's coming from. Any CEO of a company will tell you if you can get your corporate profits up to 6%, the formula is with pricing power, you can then turn around and move your prices up 13%. So it's almost double. If your profits came in at 5%, you can move your pricing up to 10%. That's what they look for is pricing power. Look it up. It's pricing power. And that's what they're doing. So who they're backing are the very people that are screwing this country. The very big businesses, the big corporations who are using their pricing power. And here's the thing, when they say, boy, business, they give you at the end of each month, boy, sales are terrific. Look, sales are up 12%. No, they're not. Prices are up. But they'll never give you the number of units. They won't say to you, okay, we sold 1,000 hats last month and made $1,000. This month, we only sold 800 hats and we made $1,200. So we made more money and less hats. How'd they do that? They kept raising prices. But see, they won't tell you the number of units sold. That's another trick. So government spending is killing us. Corporate profits and the pricing power from those profits is killing us. It's not wages. It's not wages. And the big problem is the institutional buyer is gone. He's absent. He's gone. After November of 2021 and the market dropped 38%, he's not to be found. He's no fool. Large corporations or the big institutions, the big insurance companies, the big hedge funds, they made a fortune from 2008 into November of 2021 because they were paying 0 interest rates plus 1 for prime. So they're paying 1%. Now, the biggest problem we have now is that we have $16 trillion in corporate debt, and this is causing a real problem. In fact, such a problem, we're going to go into stagflation, never mind recession. I don't think there's any more argument about are we in a recession or are we going to go into a recession. The argument is going to be, are we going to go into stagflation? So the institutional buyer, he's absent. He's gone. He's not going to be paying, as I said the other day, he's not going to pay $19 a share for $1 of earnings when it's only worth, let's say, $10 a share for $1. That's why you can't move the market. That's why the market has been going sideways for 2 years. Look on the chart. 2 years. I showed it to you yesterday. When I get back from break, I'll show you it again in case you didn't see it. We've been going sideways for 2 years. We can't break out and run. We can't break out and run. Now, the banking crisis is really going to do us in. Now, after the failure of Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, First Republic Bank, those 3 regional banks, wow. They've done more economic damage, those 3 banks, than the 25 banks that failed in 2008. It's going to be very hard to recover from that, especially if you're not supporting small businesses. The part of that damage is not just the 3 banks that failed, but the damage also is that the hedge funds are not going to go in and buy the stock of these banks. That's the big problem. More when I get back. Join my gang. Free for 10 days. philsgang.com. Click where it says get
Want
started.
more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
I believe that every single human being with a laptop computer and an internet connection should be required to give trading at least a shot.
Following Bill, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life.
I believe that every educated individual on planet Earth.
I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents.
Should do this. It's not for every single human being on Earth. I know this. but it's one of those things that you should try, because if you happen to get it right, if you happen to be one of the ones that this is for.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free.
What's in front of you is a life of incredible joy, freedom, and independence.
Philsgang.com.
You can be a successful investor in the stock market by knowing what the market is going to do.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. God, you go nuts listening to these shows on TV, Kramer, any of them. I mean, they're giving you total garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. One day they tell you, buy this stock. Next day, don't buy this stock. Then you have two people on the show, one guy saying buy it, the other guy says don't buy it. So the question is, what the hell do you do? Well, we don't have questions here at Phil's Gang. And they never have to ask the question, what do you think the market's going to do? My members always know what the market's going to do because they've learned how to follow the money. That's right. Follow the money. You don't follow fundamentals. You follow the money. And what is that? That's volume. That's the buyers and the sellers. And the other thing, you got to learn how to sell a stock as well as buy a stock.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Go to my podcast, YouTube, and Rumble every day. That's philsgang.com.
Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com.
If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the Fake Business News Network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color code chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works. You're not alone. 80% of those in the stock market, just like you, lose money. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Why do they lose? Because they don't know how to short stocks in down market. That will change once you use my patent Pro 2 color-coded chart. It works. The technology works. And it not only gives you an edge on the upside, but Pro 2 will put a smile on your face on the downside. That's right. Check it out. Free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from. All that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to the Phil's Gang. You see, you got to understand, the Federal Reserve, and no matter who's in charge, the president or the Congress, they're only going to make decisions that are best for them, not for the country. I don't care if it's a Democrat. I don't care if it's a Republican. They only make decisions that are popular, that make their party stronger. That's the sad part about the red team and the blue team. Wouldn't it be nice if they all worked together, so let's really make this country great? But they don't. They don't. But you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry that they're making a mistake, that they know darn well inflation is coming from corporations, from their profits. They understand the rule. They know what it means. These guys ran public companies. They understand. You get 6% earnings, you can put your prices up 13%. That's what they're doing. Ask Coca-Cola. They were bragging about it a couple of weeks ago when they did their earnings, but they don't care. But you should always be in the position, it doesn't matter to you as an investor. As an investor, it really doesn't. If you just follow the money, and we'll show you how to do that. We have the best team here, okay, I believe. And we had the best charts. That the first 10 days, you don't have to pay a thing. You're going to learn so much in those 10 days. And even if you don't stay with us after the free part, the 10 days, all I ask is the knowledge you leave with. If you make some money, please help the kids at St. Jude once in a while. But the mistakes they've been making, here, listen, nobody if you're looking at my chart, if you have a moldable device or you're following me on podcast, you look at my charts here, look at this. Do you understand? This is, if you take from 2022, right here, 2022, here's 2000, that's 1 year. We've gone nowhere. We haven't been able to break out. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attempts, and you can't break out. And the more times that you try to break out and you don't, it means the more powerful the crash is going to be. I mean, that's amazing. 1 year? With all the money they're putting into this economy and the market and the programs and the spending and the trillions of dollars, they can't move the needle? Because it's not for the purpose of helping the economy, all that money and what they're doing, the decisions they make. It's about helping the party. Helping the party. I want to play one thing for you, and I really don't want to get into politics, but I gotta play this. I heard this today, and I just didn't know what to do. I mean, it just really drove me nuts. Okay, now I'll play it here for you.
While Vice President Biden was lecturing Romania on anti-corruption policies.
Excuse me, this is Comer. This is the one who's been telling everybody he's got the goods on Biden.
While Vice President Biden was lecturing Romania on anti-corruption policies, in reality, he was a walking billboard for his son and family to collect money. Hunter Biden and his associates capitalized on a lucrative financial relationship with a Romanian national who was under investigation for and later convicted of corruption in Romania. The Bidens received over $1 million for the deal. And 16 of the 17 payments to their associates' account that funneled the Bidens' money occurred while Joe Biden was vice president. In fact, the money...
All right, enough is enough. My point is, no one cares. The one thing they know, the president, the head of the FBI, the attorney general, who is the head of the FBI, he doesn't care. He's not going to do anything about it because the people don't really care. The majority of the people don't care. More people, let me tell you, if you put 10 people on the street and you asked about the March Madness basketball, who played, who was the best team, what are the scores, boom, 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 they know. They give you the stats all the way down the line, boom, 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 boom. And if you asked about Romania, they think it's a salad dressing. They wouldn't know. They don't pay attention to any of this. It's the old story. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. So if you're looking And what they were looking for, Comer and his group, he was hoping that he could get the people riled up, angry enough. So what kind of president do we have here? What's going on? What's going on? But the people aren't going to get riled up. They're not going to get riled up. They're not going to think about it. They could care less. People are so busy during the day with their personal, they don't care. And we've come immune to this stuff. Just like yesterday, everybody's trying to make a big deal of Trump, where he lost his case, right? And nobody's going to care about that either. Nobody's going to care. And what you should focus on is not that stuff. Don't focus on that stuff. What's it going to do for you? What you should focus on is your 401ks aren't working. Your Social Security is not going to give you any kind of retirement. Your 401ks, those are criminals. They're criminals, okay? You never can make money in a 401k. At the end of the day, right when you're ready to retire is when your 401k goes to hell. It is so easy just to take the spiders. I've been saying this for 54 years. If a person would just take the spiders and do nothing else, and if you join our gang and you follow us, because the spiders is one of our, we have 6 stocks. We follow the same stocks all year long. And we have 2 ETFs, the spiders and the S&P. If you followed us all year on the spiders, did nothing until we told you, okay, here's what we're going to do with the spiders today. We're going to add. Or no, we're going to take some off. No, we're going to short it. If you do exactly what we tell you, and it's archived, you don't have to be here during the day. I'll never understand why people won't do it. They'll just sit there with their 401k and get slaughtered. And you're going to get slaughtered again because this market is going to go much lower because they're looking at the wrong thing. They're not fixing this economy. They're making the economy worse because our government keeps spending too much money. And Powell, the Federal Reserve, are you kidding me? We did something like, I think it was 17 rate hikes since 2015. And that amounts, each rate hike amounts to about less than 0.5%. 0.39. That's less than a half, a little bit above a quarter. That's not going to do anything either. So take advantage of this. If the market goes down, for heaven's sakes, be happy. The market's going down because you're going to make money. My gang members make money when the market goes down. If the market goes up, they're happy. You're not tied to these people. Do you understand? You're tied to these people. If you're looking for retirement in the future, you're tying your wagon to these people. You're tying your wagon to Comer. You're tying your wagon to Biden. The Attorney General to cut it loose. Take the spiders. Follow us. And every day we send you alerts. Tell you exactly what to do. If you want to do one of our 6 stocks, that's fine too. It's $39.95 a month. Are you kidding me? What are you, nuts? Okay. But boy, that aggravated me today. I thought they were going to come out and say, here's the evidence. We got the warrants for the arrest. All they did is say the same. This guy, Comer's been saying the same thing on Maria Bartiromo's show for 3 months, 4 months now. Every day the same thing. And he said the same thing, except he put more people around him all to say the same thing. Instead of one person, Comer, saying the same thing, he puts 15 people trying to squeeze in this little camera shot, and they're all trying to move their heads so they can be seen. What, are you nuts? They look like a bunch of dogs after a bone. Be right back. More when we get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, just listen to Phil Grandy.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. There's many reasons to listen to a radio show, but I think to listen to my show, you get the truth. You get clarity, and you get great information.
No matter what level of investor you are, Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success.
You know what? Most of all, it's fun. philsgang.com. clarity, good information, and fun.
Why are investors listening to Phil Grandy of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com. What, are you nuts? Coffee's up 92%. Lumber's up 67%. Heating oil, 60%? Gasoline, 55%. I understand why you guys are telling me to raise my rates here at Phil's Gang, but we haven't raised our rates since 2001. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. I'm not going to raise my rates. Our membership's been $39.95 since 2001, and for a good reason. So that you have enough room that when you do make money here at Phil's Gang, and you will, because you're going to learn how to short stocks, that there's enough room to send some money to St. Jude. That's why we never raised our price. And that's why we give you good value. So, you want to continue with good value, good information, be on the right side of the market? Join my gang, philsgang.com, where the price has not moved, where we fight inflation. philsgang.com.
Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What, are you nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grandy can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
Welcome back. Are you a fan of the Phil's Gang radio show? Then you should check out philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. So today what they're trying to do, after that number came out and the market went negative, they had to do something. So I told my members, watch what they're doing with the yields. If you still can see my chart, I'll show you. They manipulate the yield. I'll put it up for you, 10-year Treasury yield. See how they manipulate it to go down? When they manipulate it to go down, that's to move the tech stocks up. Because remember, we had that 500-point rally on Meta. But remember, we never had a follow-through on it. And Apple, we never had a follow-through on it. Out of desperation, the Federal Reserve, Powell's trying to move this market up. He's got to get that NASDAQ, he's got to get the Qs to 330. He's desperate. So that's why, if you see here, they dropped the yields to push up the tech stocks. And if you look at the tech stocks, these are all the stocks we're always in. Look at Microsoft. See how they're trying to rally Microsoft today? See it right there? And they're trying to rally Meta, but they're not having anything to do with Meta. The big institutions aren't in there. Now remember who's buying this stuff. These are tourists. These are called tourists. These aren't institutions, okay? Look at Apple, okay? They couldn't break Apple out either today. And then look at your Google. They broke Google out a little bit. So they broke Google out a little bit, and they broke out Microsoft a little bit. So be careful. I've told my members they could add a little bit to Microsoft, but not a lot. Make sure they put a stop in. And I told them they also could add a little bit to, which was, I think was just, the Qs. Right, the Qs. They could add a little bit to the Qs. But put a stop in and don't go crazy, because this market can come right back down. Right now, all you're going to see for the next couple of weeks is they're going to do what they can to get that Qs to the 330, 334. We're at 325. Got to keep watching your volume. See the volume bars down here? That's energy. You got to keep watching that volume. You got to make sure you keep getting more buyers than sellers. This is what we work with every day, and we watch the yields. How do we know this was going up? How we knew they was going up? Because of the yields, okay? Now, the one thing that's really, really a problem, and people just don't understand, I wish you would join our gang, is the banking crises. They're throwing us now into credit tightening. And let me tell you, there should be no debate anymore. Are we going into a recession, or we are in a recession? Believe me, the banking crisis, we are in a recession. Now, there's a lot of consequences of bank tightening. Okay, a lot of consequences. And remember, each time banks tightened, in the last 5 decades, listen to what I'm saying, over the past 5 decades, each time your banks start tightening, i.e., credit, due to a credit crisis, like the 3 major regional banks falling apart, there's always a knee-jerk reaction. And the first thing banks do is they start giving their borrowers, even their best credit, AAA credit customers, a financial enema when they come in for a loan, even though they've been with them for years. This is why this market's going lower. Once you start doing this to the banks are the leader of the market, remember. Not tech, banks. So, and they do this to all customers. And also, instead of the normal collateral, which usually is to put one family member in the vault over the weekend, now what they're doing is asking, if you want a loan, you got to put your firstborn in the vault. I mean, they want multiple business and personal statements. Multiple. One's not enough. And then you got to have multiple appraisals. You got to have higher credit scores. All of a sudden, you've been with this bank for years. Your credit score's been fine. Now they turn you down. They want your credit score higher. What the hell is that? And they want higher rates. And they want more collateral. They want both the husband and the wife on guarantees. If they get the kids, the dog, and the puppies, they'll take them too. These banks are worse than the mob. Worse than a mob. But you, again, if you know what you're doing in the market, how to follow the money, and the money is coming out of the market, you're going to make money with us. If money's going into the market, you're going to make money with us. But for people who are just standing back in 401ks and depending on some broker, some advisor to tell you what to do, what are you, nuts? The biggest problem, they can't help you because it's out of their hands. Because remember, tightening these lending standards is not going to be enough. What caused all this is that we're saddled with $16 trillion in corporate debt. These people use that money for stock buybacks for over 13 years. You can't take that money out of the system. You just don't put your hand in and take that money out of the system. What you have to do to get that, most people don't even understand how the money gets there. Remember, banks have what they call reserves. You got to have a certain amount of money that is in reserve. And the Federal Reserve will call you and say, okay, We want to increase money supply. We want you to loan to more people. So take your reserves, push it out for loans. Now what they're saying is, those reserves, pull them all back in. Pull them all back in. No more loans. And the loans that they give are going to be at much higher rates. And see, they overreact. And that's why for people who think this is gold, listen to her, this is Goldilocks, she says.
I mean, ultimately, the market loves Goldilocks, right? We're desperate for Goldilocks to come back and demonstrate that we can have really strong growth with very low inflation. So that print on Friday was just on the right side of not being too hot. The economy's still producing jobs.
Just a little Goldilocks, not too hot. The print wasn't too hot. It wasn't very hot. It wasn't too cool. Just right. Everything's wonderful. Goldilocks. This is what you want? That's who you listen to for advice? Give me, were you nuts? So understand, $16 trillion was used for stock buybacks. You didn't benefit from the stock buybacks. The people who work at these companies didn't benefit from the stock buybacks. The corporation didn't benefit from the stock buybacks. Who benefited? The CEO with his options, the guys on Wall Street, everybody else got screwed. And guess what else is going on? When the economy comes back, we're not going to be ready for it. You want to know why? Because for 13 years, they got the same old equipment, the same old technology, because they've, instead of taking that money and investing into new equipment, new technology, business investment. Do you understand under this president, we've had the worst business investment, the least business investment than ever. I shouldn't say than ever, but for a very long time. And that means when the economy comes back, we can't produce. We can't keep up with our competitors. We can't keep up with China. They have the newest and the finest and the best equipment. Ours is 10, 15 years old because we didn't take the money. We didn't want to buy a new machine or a new computer because they're doing stock buybacks. People have no idea what's going on, and that's why you got to learn how to sell short, and then it doesn't matter to you. It doesn't matter. You could care less what these people are doing in Washington. So these corporations are in deep, deep trouble because you can't be borrowing $16 trillion to do stock buybacks and you're borrowing it at 1% or 2%. Now the Fed rates are 5.25%. Now you got to add that 2% to the 5.25, so that's 7.25. And he's going to raise rates at least to 7%. Listen to what I'm saying. I haven't been wrong yet. He's got to raise rates to at least 7% because what he is doing hasn't worked. Remember, since 2015, 17 rate hikes, and if you average it out, they've been less than a half a point, 0.39. You can't beat down inflation that way. But you should be able to get up every morning and say, you know what? I'm going to tune into Phil's gang and his staff. I'm going to listen to what they say, and I'm going to be okay. Because you are going to be okay. If you're a member and you're listening to Steve, you listen to Willie, you listen to Autumn, you're going to be okay. You're going to be just fine. We're here to help you. We get beyond all this garbage. And that's all that is garbage. That's all you're listening to on TV today on these business shows. Again, once you learn how to follow the yields, you have the Pro 2, you'll always be right, or at least more right than wrong. Free, 10 days. Check it out, philsgang.com.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me.